Hi there, it's Louise with you of Timeless Craft Mama, and today I'd like to share a scrapbook layout process video created for A2Z Scraplets. And I've used the beautiful chipboard flourishes on this page, which I've titled Lovely. So what I've done to create this page is I've started with a 9x12 white background and these flourishes from A2Z Scraplets and a 6x6 paper pad. So I wanted to show you just a little way that you could actually stretch your 6x6 paper pads a little bit further. So I'm going to start by tearing this paper in half and popping that on my 6x6, on my 9x12 page, and I'm going to build a cluster with this photo that I've chosen, and I've picked some stash elements as well. So I've got a star there from Charms Creations and a couple of other elements like some flare buttons and some tags and things as well. So that's going to form part of the cluster of the page. Now, I decided that I needed a little bit of colour in the background of this, so I went ahead with some gold shimmers and actually used the packaging technique to spread some of that colour around. So it goes on really yellow looking, but it does come up to, like when it dries, it has this beautiful shimmery gold, and you'll see that as this layout progresses. Now on my chipboards I'm using the gold Enchantment embossing powder from Nuvo, and it's turning out to be one of my favourite products because it has this beautiful sparkly kind of finish, and you can see that it's sort of it's more than just gold. Now off camera I've used my 6x6 paper pad to cut out some of these cut files with my Silhouette Cameo 3, and they're also going to form the background of the layout. Now I did also decide that I wasn't happy with where the 9x12 was going, so I've chosen a piece of coloured cardstock from my stash, and I'm actually going to mount that 9x12 piece onto that coloured cardstock. I don't know what it was that wasn't working for me. I think it just it needed that little something extra, and I'm much happier with the final version of this layout than I am with just that 9x12. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fiddle around with some of these layers and build a cluster around my photo. So lots of different ways to use your 6x6 paper pads in this particular video. So have a bit of a watch, and we'll go through a couple of elements of this particular project. Now, if you've watched any of my videos before, you've probably noticed that I'm a little bit addicted to doilies, and I find that they just give so much more to a cluster. So in this case, I've chopped that little doily in half, and I'm actually going to use half in that upper section of the cluster, and then later on you'll see me use the other half. You could have just left it at half, depending on how you wanted the layout to go or the cluster to go, but certainly down to personal preference. For me, I liked half at the top there, and then I'm going to pop the other half down a little bit lower as I continue this page. Now off camera I've gone ahead and I've mounted that 9x12, and I've picked some photos out of my stash, and I've also got that second Flourish chipboard there as well, which I've treated the same way as the original. And that was just I originally was only going to use one, but I ended up balancing that cluster and I used both. Now I've also done some washi tearing here, so I'm just tearing the washi and putting some at the top and some at the bottom, and this just is going to allow me to highlight the fact that that central cluster is, you know, the important part of the page. So it just helps bring your eye into the center section. Now I've got the Tim Holtz phrase book there, so I'm going to add a couple of those, and the final stages of this page I'm just going to pop a few gold sequins around just to, again, bring that gold into it. You might also notice that I've done some stitching around the outside. So I've stitched over the washi and around all the cardstock, and again that's just to finish everything and bring your eye into the middle. So I really hope you've enjoyed this lovely video from me. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out A2Z Scraplets for chipboard products.